Thank you, Ahmed, for the interesting and presentation. The topic, of course, is very important nowadays. It is about the system, change in the system, the monetary system. And I understand that the main message is that this paper is calling for more towards sovereign, the money to be within the hands of the government of the sovereign state, not to be given to the people, or let's say to monopolized by some people within the country or the system. As usual, with respect to question and answers and comments, we will start from Paris this time, listening for their comments and question and answer, and then come back to Jeddah. We will have also another maybe 35 minutes for this period. Thank you. Please, Pierre.
Gentlemen. So Abdelkader already has a question, so please, Kader.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for your presentation, Ahmed. My question is simple. Why you didn't refer to any literature coming from Islamic finance? Because we have some authors that have written some references and proposals about sovereign monetary system within the Islamic finance perspectives. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll collect, I think, we'll collect questions, and then Dr. Ahmed will respond at the end, please.
Gentlemen, we do have some new faces today, so maybe some new questions too.
Yeah.
Okay. Ahmed, thank you for your presentation, which is a very nice introduction to very contemporary literature and issues about what money is really. And you know that this is not only a matter of economics, but it's, for us Europeans, it's the heart of the contemporary political debate, which is basically what is Europe now? Is it just money, or money plus debt, or nothing at all? In fact, you know that I'm interested in economic history, and I'm a bit frustrated when you begin only in 1705 with John Law, who is well known in France, of course, because he has played an important role in developing the first endogenous money, setting up a bank, which in fact issued some bills. But in fact, what is not known is that before Law, the French monarchy already issued paper bills, because there was not enough gold to fund the war, and you know that our Sun King was the king of war, so he was waging war all over Europe, and in order to pay for war, he had to have some money. And in fact, gold was not sufficient, so the monarchy issued many notes, and in fact, John Law only stepped in after the death of the king to do something with the enormous amount of paper bills which have been issued, and the French authorities did not know how to cope with all this. So at some point, I'm a bit frustrated with the idea that sovereign monetary system is a new idea. I think it has been the very dream of our Sun King. I'm sorry, the question is a bit long. But yes, my question is such, to which point is this sovereign monetary system really sovereign? Because the state, of course, can wish to control the money issuance. But as you have said, there is a first constraint which is somewhat shadowy, which is the development of a shadow banking system. And there's another constraint, which is the international value of the sovereign money. You know that there are more recent examples than the 17th century France, such as the Soviet Union, for instance, at the time of the ruble. They had a sovereign monetary system, but in fact, there's another joke, which is, you know, the difference between a dollar and a ruble, and the difference was $1. Hence, the money, although it was sovereign, had no value outside of the sovereign state. So, in the end, the question which is raised by the sovereign monetary system is how do countries coordinate to be so that every country is sovereign without anyone being sovereign above the others. And I think one bias of the current system is simply that the dollar was a bit more sovereign than other monies, which is translated by other monies being pegged to the dollar. So what do we do with how do we handle the relationship between political sovereignty and monetary sovereignty? Vous pouvez aussi poser des questions en français si vous voulez. No, I've been too long, so the floor has no more question at the moment.
Okay. So we'll listen from Jeddah now. Okay, so listen from Jeddah, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I have 2 comments and 1 question. The first one is about we have to push on this sovereign system because we cannot apply our Islamic economic finance unless we have that system. Because as we know, that we are pushing for reduce the lending-based Islamic finance. So when we have a system dominated by lending or loan as a money, we cannot have Islamic financial system. So if we have that sovereign monetary system, we can apply all our principle on Islamic finance. And also we can achieve our objective as maqasid al-Sharia for equity and fair distribution of the outcome of any economic process. This is the one. The second point here is that all this, when we are talking about this monetary system as a financial institution, we do not mention the other very powerful instrument used on generating profit or money on this, which is gambling or speculation. And this is one of the present financial or monetary system. We have to see its effect on the instability of the economy, and it should be part of that presentation. This is the 2 comments. My question is why, since the sovereign monetary system is introduced or written about it since 1705, why the system allows the bank to control the creation of money? Is there any, say, political power or economic power which push for this direction and dominate the economy by this financial institution?
Please introduce your name.
My name is Muhammad Masum Billah. I am affiliated with the Islamic Economic Institute. Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, for your...
You are a member, not affiliated.
Yes. Okay. And for your good lecture. And it's very informative. So, I have a first question actually. Do we have SMS in today's world? Though the idea has been began in 1705, but do we have in reality? From my personal observation, we do not have in practicality as we expect. We have theoretical, conceptual, yes. Now the question here, in your paper, I observed that there is not much practical model. It's mainly is the factual ideas and factual, this contribution on this paper. So now it would be better if we do not have SMS in practice, in reality, what I mean actually, but how it could be. Now, and is it necessary? It is important. Yes, it is important. Now, your paper is expected to be with a practical model, not too much of descriptive, that we have a lot of literatures and concept. We do not need much. We need the practicality. Because it is important, we have submitted already the idea, it is important for both conventional and Islamic, and how it could be. Okay? Now, my suggestion here,
the next paper,
inshallah. Now, my suggestion here, the SMS should be an integrated package or the model. It should be associated with the integrated with the political spirit and also global consideration, and this is for the modern SMS. Now, for the Sharia consideration or the Islamic model, it should also be with the Sharia compliance. So this is just my suggestion. However, and it could be called as SPZ. Okay, now my comments I finish in 2 minutes time, inshallah. That just in respect of the paper, that the paper is mostly on factual and descriptive. So, and also there is not much investigation. It's just that borrowing the idea, the collection of ideas, but we do not have much investigation here in this particular paper. Now, and also the comparison. I realize Dr. Ahmed, though it is a good lecture and good paper, but he did not consider Asia-Pacific practicality or the scenario much. And also the African scenario also has not been included here much. In the Middle East, only Saudi Arabia, but also we have many other countries have not been included here, the scenario. We have diversified scenario or the comparison, but has not been included here in this paper. Now, next issue here, though we are talking about the SMS, but we have a lot of discussion under the modern, practically modern theories, but we do not have any Sharia, the Sharia model. So now, Dr. Ahmed, it could be better if he can touch a bit, whatever possible way, the Sharia alternative. Whatever we have the more modern, but what is Sharia alternative then? Now, he mentioned here in his paper that zero interest free. The zero interest free, what is that is the fact, but that is somebody has claimed that it should be zero interest free. But now, what is the alternative then? It has not been explained here. Now, my suggestion that this particular paper is a very timely and very needed paper, a needed idea, but it could be better if Dr. Ahmed could analyze the paper based on the meta approach, which means that the comparison between the zone or the Asia, the Africa, America, Europe, and so on, Middle East. So compare. After comparing, then come up with the macro model. Macro model that could be globally acceptable, and it could be in two ways. One is the conventional model, another one is the Sharia model separately, or it could be a model, a single model, complying the Sharia sensitivity or ethical approach. Okay. Now, another thing is that in this particular paper, if Dr. Ahmed could come up with a Sharia alternative model in this paper, so that a justifiable model, so that this could be a handbook or the idea for others to explore or to expand their research, and then the modeling and so on. Okay. Now, my question here, is there any way that we can establish the SMS backed by gold? So this is just my concern. If yes, we have to also, we have not considered here or the consulted many literatures from the Islamic scholars, and also we have quite a number of policies issued by Bank Negara in Malaysia and some other places have not been consulted. Okay. And also we have, I just mentioned the person name, but I do not want to touch on the political or whatever sensitivity, I do not know. But from the intellectual or from the academic point of view, I just mentioned, Sheikh Imran has given a lot of lectures on this particular issue. It could be browsed through YouTube actually on this particular pros and cons. It could be a reference. Now, Dr. Ahmed mentioned that, I quoted one of the scholars, the idea that creation of money shall not be privately, but centrally. Now, my question here, that Dr. Ahmed, if he could examine how it could be, or could propose something, but it has not been in the paper yet. Okay. Now, another thing is the risk-free. Yes. So, just I'm finishing. So, risk-free, I mentioned the risk-free, but risk-free how it could be. Okay, it has not been mentioned. So, I hope that the paper, if can incorporate and consider those of the aspects, and they come up with a single model, alternative model, justifiable with the practical reality. That could be better. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thanks, Dr. Ahmed, for the very informative presentation. I have a single question is, how do you expect the impact of SMS on financial market dynamics and on other aspects like innovation, value creation, and so on? Thanks.
Moving towards sovereign monetary system, it's obviously not just monetary creation, it has a lot of other aspects, which includes the accounting issues and other, just like, when we are borrowing, the accounting system, they have a problem. They take the interest first and they leave the principals to the end. Rather, I think it should have been the reverse. But all these, reform or reformation is needed. My objection is towards your slide number 31.7.
Okay.
Banks that fail will be liquidated. No room for too big to fail. No, when you talk of no deposit insurance either, that means the depositors will be the losers. Right? Instead of what I would recommend here, it has to be liquidated, but it has to be compensated by, because most of the banks are corporations, so the shareholders should be penalized for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed Belouafi, for this informative paper. In textbooks, we have been reading that banks creates money from nothing, not from thin air, but when they receive them, they create money. Now, if your idea is that bank can create money without receiving cash, so what will be the mechanism of control? Is there no mechanism, or it will be any unlimited or infinite power to create money? So how it could be controlled? It is just theoretical thing, or really available, or partly it is there is endogenous money and partly it is exogenous money which are working in our economy. In old system or in endogenous system, we know that the cash reserve ratio is fixed, and bank has to follow it, and it is fixed to for two purposes. One is to control the lending power of or money creation power of the bank. The other is that enable them to meet the demand of the customers And so now if bank can create money first or lend money first and then open account, equal deposit they make it. So what will be any limit for this money creation? It means the competition will allow them to create money infinitely, and if system is really existing, it should finish just like it's a flood the economy, like water, which take them away. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you everyone from Jeddah, and I don't know if Pierre, do you have more comments or questions from Paris? Your side, please.
Did the Saudi questions open your mind so you also have other questions to ask? Please, Djibril.
La question que je me pose, c'est est-ce que finalement la finance islamique a encore un sens dans un monde où la création monétaire est issue du privé?
Il y a eu une réponse partielle. Hein. So in fact, Jibril is asking the same question as one of you already asked, which is there any point trying to set up Islamic finance in a world when the private sector is issuing money or is creating money endogenously? But I think this is close to a comment that has already been made.